Hello friends, Miss Kelly here with the Grimes Public Library. Today's project for February Feats is wood carving. So with wood carving, I'm going to send you again to the experts with a playlist following this video. First, a few tips on some safety, and then also some basic cuts that you're going to want to practice lots until you feel pretty confident with them. And then some simple videos on tutorials of how to make some simple beginner projects with your wood carving projects. So stop by the library and you can pick up some beginner wood blocks. Basswood or balsa wood is a great beginner wood because it's softer, easier to carve, and also has the grains are a little less harsh, which is sometimes can cause some issues as you're carving. But first I want to talk a little bit about safety. Anytime we're using knives, we want to make sure we're being extra safe. So please make sure that you are following some safety guidelines. For number one, this might seem counterintuitive, but you want to make sure your knife is very sharp, the knife that you're carving with. That's because you don't want it to be too dull. It's going to cause you to push too hard or make too sudden movements. And with wood carving, we want to make very precise, controlled, measured movements. Anytime that you see somebody just quickly whittling away at a stick, we're not trying to, make a spear. We're trying to be controlled, and it's an art form. So you want to have smooth, controlled motions, whether you're coming towards yourself with a paring cut or away from yourself with a sweeping cut. It's got to be very smooth and controlled. And so the sharper the knife, the easier that's going to be for you. With knives, I just used a simple pocket knife. Of course, there are actual carving knives out there that you can purchase, but if you have a new pocket knife laying around or one that you know that is very sharp, that would be the way to go as a beginner, just to see if you like this type of work. The second thing I'm going to recommend is that you get some gloves. There are official carving gloves out there that are going to fit tight and like a knit, and then they have some grippers on them so you can hold your project a little easier. I just used some leather gloves that we had, and so again, with a beginner, a leather is nice. If most people have some work gloves or leather gloves laying around, you can grab those, and that's going to help protect your hand from that knife. You're going to want to wear that glove on the hand that you do not hold the knife in. So if you're a right-handed person, you have your knife in your right hand, your glove on the left. If you're a left-handed person, you just switch those, okay? So your left hand has the knife, your right hand's going to have the glove. Because as you're working and this hand is holding the project, the knife might slip and hit that finger or hand, and you want to have something layer there to protect that from the knife. Thirdly, you are going to want a thumb guard for your knife hand. So some people wear gloves on both hands. You can do that, especially if you get the carving gloves, because they're made for doing this art. But if as a beginner, you can make yourself your own little thumb guard with duct tape. There's a video right after mine in the playlist that's going to show you how to make this thumb guard. He makes his out of a specific type of carving tape that people use to wrap their fingers in as they're carving, but you can certainly make it out of duct tape like I did. As a beginner, it's a great start. So this one you're going to want, because sometimes we're doing a paring cut where we're pulling the knife towards us, towards our thumb, and you want to make sure you have some protection there. Also, sometimes we're pushing the back of the knife with your thumb, and so that just, of course, guards your thumb and gives you a little bit more support as you're working on wood carving. So glove, sharp knife, finger guard. Okay, so those are the basic safety tips, as well as making sure that you're being controlled and very measured, controlled, gentle motions that are small. You shouldn't be doing anything really big, and taking your time. So if you are starting to get frustrated, make sure you walk away, put it down for a while, come back, and remember those controlled motions. Those are the key tips for keeping safe as you're wood carving. So to get started, you are probably going to want to practice a little before you pick up that wood from the library. The practice wood is going to be balsa wood or basswood, and it's going to be a nice wood to get you started. But you want to practice first on some soap. So grab yourself a bar of soap, maybe some ivory soap if you happen to have some around. That's a really great one to do because it's softer. Again, getting the feel for what that's going to feel like. You can practice carving on ivory soap with a butter knife. And here is my practice that I did with a little heart, since it's February, Valentine's Day here. With soap, if it starts to crumble, you can add a little water to it to help you get the shape that you want. Also, it's going to make your house smell wonderful as you're shaving off these little bits of soap. To keep the mess down to a minimum, I did all of my carving in a simple baking tray, so it catches all the wood chips or soap chips, as depending on what you're working on. And then once you've watched some of those videos following this one to learn the basic cuts, make sure you practice them all very carefully on soap or on another practice piece of wood where you're practicing that sweep cut, the paring cut, the stop cut, the V cut. All of those you want to make sure that you kind of have a good handle on before you begin a project. So here are some of my examples that I did. This is my first one, the snowman. There is a tutorial for a simple snowman on the videos that I are following mine. This one is my first project. It is not very good. But again, my first one. Then I started to do this little guy where I carved the wood carved it all the way around to make it smooth, to make it kind of like a round circle. And then I carved a little heart in the side, again for Valentine's Day, February month. And then I moved on to try to do a 3D heart, which again, there's another tutorial on there for that. And again, his is much better than mine. So it takes a lot of patience and practice, friends, and I'm sure yours are going to be much better than mine. But I hope you enjoy. Have some fun looking through some of those professional, more experienced wood carving videos, because those are going to be the best tools that I have to help you get started. And of course, my safety tips. So make sure you've got your gloves, your thumb guard, and your sharp knife, and moving with slow and controlled motions always when you're wood carving. Have fun, and I hope you have some great woodworking projects.